What's up YouTube, it's Matthew here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to overcome your fear of cold calling, especially talking with sellers in your wholesaling real estate business. I'm going to break down 8 different tips that we all can use in order to jump over that fear and be able to close way more wholesale deals. So if you all enjoyed this video, if you find value from it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. All right, you all, cold calling is obviously a daunting task. It's something that you have to do in order to close deals, whether you're doing direct mail, text messaging, PPC. You have to eventually hop on the phone with a seller. Yes, some of them are a little bit more warm leads than others, but you have to learn how to talk to strangers over the phone. But specifically cold calling, it's completely cold, right? They didn't receive any postcards from you, they didn't receive any texts or anything like that, and you have to get on a call with them. I know when I first started, yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking for sure, cold calling my first 100 sellers. And I made a ton of mistakes, but that's just part of the process. And over time, I learned how to get used to it. And so these 8 different tips I'm going to give you is just based off of my experience. I wrote them myself. Let me know what you all think down below. So the first tip I want to share on how you can overcome your fear of cold calling is just by doing it, right? So it's not in our nature to cold call people, right? It's not something we're born with. I don't think any of us are born with being able to cold call at a high level. Maybe some of us are born with extrovertedness, great communication, and different things like that. But cold calling itself is a completely new skill. So no one is born with it, right? And so by just doing it, it feels weird at first because it's not part of our human nature. It's not our nature. But over time, just by doing something, you become used to it and it becomes part of your nature, right? Just like exercising or working out, you go to the gym, the first few days are hard, you get super sore, but after a few weeks, your bodies are used to it, and so you are not as sore because your body is used to it. So same with cold calling. Make sure you have that schedule down packed so you can hardwire your brain to be used to cold calling. The second tip I want to give in cold calling is a little bit different, but I want to say is to lower your expectation, right? I think when we first get started in wholesaling real estate, we expect to get a deal in 30 days. We expect to get a motivated seller like the first few days of cold calling. And a lot of times that just doesn't happen for the majority of even successful wholesalers. It's really good to go into wholesaling, go into cold calling with a realistic mindset, saying, okay, I'm going to call 100 people. Maybe all 100 are going to say no. 70 of them are not even going to answer. 10 of them are going to curse me out. And one maybe might say a maybe, right? And so you have to come with that approach, right? And just be realistic. Like, listen, if someone was calling you, what are you gonna say, right? Most people are in situations where they're not motivated to sell their house. And so you have to understand that you're going after a market that's very, very small. Bringing that into your cold calling systems and processes really trains you not to get so down when you don't have a good cold calling day, or even get too high when you get a motivated seller. It keeps your emotions at bay. The third tip I want to share is to practice, right? Practice makes perfect. So make sure you practice with your friends, with your family, and even by yourself, like in front of the mirror or just before you hop on a call. Just go over what you're going to say beforehand, and it just flows so much easily out of your mouth when you start cold calling. Just like, for example, making videos, sometimes I practice my introduction before hitting the record button just so it can flow easily. And sometimes I just hop on it because, you know, I've been doing it for a few years now. Probably been officially over 2 years since the wholesaling real estate content has been on this channel. So just keep on practicing and practicing and practicing, and you get better. You get to know the tonality, when to raise your voice, when to lower your voice, when to be happy, when to be more serious, and different things like that. The fourth tip I want to share in overcoming your fear of cold calling is to actually think more of the seller's need than you yourself trying to get a deal, right? I think, and when we are cold calling, we're thinking so much of like, okay, I need to get paid $50,000 on my first deal. We just think about that without really thinking and listening to the seller. And what that does to me like I just said, when you think of the other person, you listen more. You kind of go off script, right? You listen to what they're saying and you pick up on things to see where you can find their pain points or where you can find their motivation in order to close more wholesale deals. The fifth tip I would give is to have less distractions. So when you cold call, it's good just to have a time set, like have a schedule, and also, block out any just like other outside forces. That's why I think having a phone dialer is really imperative. I did a tutorial on a phone dialer system a week ago. I'll put the video link somewhere, but you can check Phone Burner down below, the link down below, where you can get this phone burner system where it calls the numbers for you. Instead of you having to stop every time you call someone, dialing your phone number, it just distracts you. You go here and there. On the dialer, it just makes it way more effective, way more efficient. So make sure you check the link down below for a free trial using my link, Phone Burner. But yeah, it just helps reduce the stress. You're all like, okay, you don't have to overthink things in between the calls because it's already calling the next person. So it really lowers the fear when you're talking to sellers. The next tip I want to talk about in overcoming your fear of cold calling is to learn and watch other cold callers, right? I have a ton of videos on how to cold call, of me just cold calling. I have a video of me cold calling for a full hour, and you can cold call along with me if you want to, just pop the video on, put the volume down. We can cold call together if you all want to do something like that. But, kind of learn from other people. It may not even be me, it may be someone else. I know Britt Daniels is really good at it, and there's some other wholesalers who are really great cold callers. So kind of learn their tonality, when they raise their voice, when they lower their voice, what type of questions they ask, how they pick up on what the seller is saying, and how they're actively listening to the seller in order to draw out the motivation behind them wanting to sell their house. So the next tip I want to talk about is having a decent script. So I have a video on cold call scripts. You all can take a look at that. I'll try to put it somewhere in this video. But obviously you all are cold calling for a reason. You have to know what you need to know in a particular phone call. So it's good to have at least 3 to 4 objectives when you're cold calling a seller. And so having a script is easy. It's a baseline. It's a framework for your call. But don't depend on it, you all. Go off script, right? If a seller is kind of talking about something else, but it's related to the house, it's relating to motivation, don't put yourself in a box and sticking to that script. Listen to what they're saying. Be an active listener, right? And in return, you will most likely draw out that motivation from the seller. But yeah, having a script is great so you can know what to ask and how to have a proper introduction and follow up and different things like that. The final tip for overcoming your cold calling fears is to understand that it is possible, right? If other people are doing it, you can too. That's one of the first beliefs I had in my entrepreneurship journey. Like, there's no difference between me and someone that I see on YouTube doing this business, that I have the same opportunities. If they can do it, I can too. So just know that you can be a decent cold caller. You can close deals and you can, make money in this business. Another thing, talking about overcoming your fear of cold calling and these different tips is that you do not have to be the best cold caller in order to get deals. All you're trying to do really is to get deals, right? Let me tell you, so the best wholesalers, the best wholesale systems and businesses, some of them have subpar cold callers, right? But they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in this business, right? And so yes, if that's your goal to be the best cold caller, you can do that and you will get a ton of deals. But you can be an average cold caller and still get a ton of deals, all right? So don't put that much pressure on yourself to being perfect on the phone, right? Just go out there, you're going to make mistakes. Just understand that you're going to get a deal. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe down below, and comment down below on what you do in order to be a better cold caller. All right, talk to you all later. Peace.